The Last of Us has now been one of those games which kind of just seems to be continuing over different console generations, from the PS3 to PS4 and now all the way to the PlayStation 5. Where at first we got the vanilla version of the game and then we got a remaster on the PlayStation 4. And if you compare the PS3 version with the PlayStation 4 version, the remaster version was very well done. The difference between the vanilla and the remaster was obviously seen on the PlayStation 4. But what Naughty Dog has now done with The Last of Us Part 1 is just phenomenal. The thing that I've noticed in the community of The Last of Us is that a lot of people are actually confused about The Last of Us Part 1. Should you buy this game or should you wait for a sale? This has been one of the biggest conclusions that people have been thinking about in the community, because if you take a look at the price point of this game at this point, it's a really old game, and now we're going to be able to play a remake version, which is in fact the same game, but the game has been broke down and rebuilt from ground base, and now it feels like you're playing The Last of Us Part 2, but then it is The Last of Us Part 1, because all the mechanics and graphics and stuff that we've seen in Part 2 has now been implemented in The Last of Us Part 1, including some of the external features, like you can now change outfits for Joel and Ellie, and the skins are actually really good. And apart from that, the graphics of the game looks phenomenal. Now, if you take a look at the trailers that Naughty Dog has shared so far officially, and there's also been a couple of leaked gameplays out there on the internet as well, and from the looks of it, it seems like The Last of Us Part 1's remake version's graphics kind of seems very close to what we've seen with The Last of Us Part 2. And in fact, it is of course the same engine. The entire game has been built in and rebuilt with the same engine, so you're of course going to see a lot of similarities. And nonetheless, The Last of Us Part 2 was indeed one of the best games that I've played so far in terms of mechanics, gameplays, graphics, and basically everything overall. So I think The Last of Us Part 1 being remade is of course a really great thing, but when it comes to the price point, it seems like the price of this game is $70. This is something that the entire gaming community is really pissed off about when it comes to Naughty Dog pricing their game all the way up to $70 like it's some kind of a brand new game that they're releasing. Now, if you take a look at the production cost of this game, since Naughty Dog has spent all of the resource and a lot of money in order to produce this game, it's obviously going to take a lot of ground up works. And Naughty Dog has also announced that they've been using the same motion captures that they've already captured for The Last of Us Part 1's PS3 version. So anything that you're seeing in this game that has been improved or remade is basically the same motion capture that was captured like so many years ago for the base game, and that has now been enhanced with the latest engine. And you can see Joel and Ellie with the same cutscenes, but then you have different character models and you have better graphics and visuals, and even the character expressions with the motion capture has now been captured much more realistically, so you can now kind of tell the difference very vastly in terms of how the characters' faces move and how they react to certain situations. So a lot of people in the Last of Us community are indeed mad just because the game has pretty much the same cutscenes as the vanilla version, and there isn't really any add-on, or the game doesn't look completely different, I guess, and that's because they're using the same motion capture. And apart from that, when it comes to gameplay, that is where the entire game changer comes in with The Last of Us Part 1's remake. Now, comparing this with the vanilla version of the game, you're going to see a massive change in terms of how the game plays, in terms of how the AIs react, and how your character's fluid gameplay movement mechanics are also going to be working out. All of these things are going to be changing vastly. And if you are someone that actually did enjoy The Last of Us Part 1 storyline and you already know everything, and of course think that most of the guys who own PlayStation 3, 4, or even 5 have already played The Last of Us Part 1. So at this point, anyone that's buying this game is basically just rebuying it, either if you have the base game or the remaster game. This one is actually going to be totally worth it if you're spending that extra dime in order to get that fine gameplay experience with the remake version, because you're of course going to be able to experience The Last of Us Part 2 style of gameplay experience with the remake version here. So the only reason that you need to spend your money or even rebuy this game is only if you guys want to be re-experiencing The Last of Us Part 1 with a different fluid mechanics of gameplay. But other than that, the story is the same. You're not going to be getting any add-ons, or even the story or cutscenes are not going to be altered. It's pretty much the same, but different character models and graphics graphics, and the game is going to run at smooth 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 5, which is of course a great thing, and I just cannot wait to get my hands on and try this game out on the full fluid 60 frames per second. And so far I've also been taking a look at some of the leaked gameplays, and I've got to say though, the gameplay actually looks very similar to The Last of Us Part 2, and it's also 60 frames per second, so that's something I'm really excited about as well. Now, one of the best features that Naughty Dog has implemented with The Last of Us Part 1's remake version is that they have now added in 60 plus accessibility features, which basically allows disabled players to also be able to experience the game just like how everyone else does around the world. So this is by far one of the best features that I've seen so far, and I think Naughty Dog has gone that extra mile in order to make the game feel much better and also playable for all the players. So it was not really necessary for Naughty Dog to go ahead and do this extra thing for the game, but still they took their time. So that of course shows that they are indeed dedicated in order to make every single one of the gamers out there being able to play this absolute masterpiece. Now, at the end of the day, do you want to buy this game or not? The decision is completely up to you guys, and no one else could decide this, because $70 price point is only of course valued based on how your perception of the remake version basically is like. So you can take a look at the graphics comparison here. It is very clear that the game is a phenomenal change from the vanilla version. So like I said, if you guys are looking for a better gameplay experience, then you must make the choice on whether the $70 price point is either worth it, or you could even wait for a sale, because if you wait on for a couple of months, then The Last of Us Part 1 is obviously going to go on sale on the PlayStation Store, so you guys could basically wait for that, or you could just go ahead and support the company and support the production of this game and pay a full price of $70 and get your hands on right away as soon as this game comes out. And also, one thing I want to know is, if you guys are getting The Last of Us Part 1 remake version, then will you be getting the physical disc, or are you guys going to buy this game on a digital platform? Because this has been something that I personally have been deciding myself. I think I want to be buying this game physically instead of buying it as a digital version, because when it comes to The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2, I ended up purchasing both of these games as digital versions, and I kind of miss that I don't have the discs as a physical form. So that is something I personally prefer, so I would love to know what you guys think. And with that being said, lads, I hope this video kind of helped you guys figure out if you want to be spending that extra $70 dime on The Last of Us Part 1's remake or not. So what your decision is, let me know in the comments down below. Are you guys going to buy the game, or will you guys be waiting for a full-on sale in order to buy The Last of Us Part 1's remake? You're most probably going to be getting around a 20 or 15% of discount after a couple of months, so it is of course worth waiting if you've already played the game. It's not like you're losing a lot of things here, because it's basically the same game, but then you have a better improved mechanics. So I would honestly say, if you're not a YouTuber, if you're not a content creator, if you're just a casual gamer, then you can of course afford to just wait a couple months in order to play this game if you're not super excited and just want to get your hands on day one itself, because of course you're going to be saving a 15 to 20% after 3 to 4 months of the launch. So just keep this in mind. Let me know in the comments what are your thoughts. And with that being said, lads, if you guys want to go ahead and support this video, if you are excited for The Last of Us Part 1's remake, make sure to go ahead and drop a like on this video. I am super excited, I'm hyped. And also, if you guys want to stay updated with my full review on The Last of Us Part 1's remake, once the game comes out, I will let you guys know if it is completely worth it or should you wait. Because if you haven't made your decisions yet, then I think my review is actually going to help you figure out if you want to be spending that $70 as soon as possible or not. So yeah, with that being said, if you guys want to see more content like these, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to my channel and turn the notifications on. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers. We're just 1,000 subscribers away from 100,000. So if you guys could just show your support, that would really mean a lot to me. And with that being said, fams, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Until then, take it easy, fams, and goodbye.